Hey, Review. Today is Monday, April 3rd, and we are on a day 4 schedule. If you currently have an overdue library book, please return it to Mrs. Madden as soon as possible. Don't wait to get it done later. Get it done today. Attention all students. Remember that you must have a bus pass from a teacher if you want to ride the late bus after school. The office will not provide bus passes. Please leave the building and the campus at the end of the day unless you are staying in the building for academic or athletic reasons. As you may have read in a letter that was sent home last week, there are a few changes in procedures here at school. Here are Mr. Hewitt and Mr. English to review some of these changes.
Morning, Riverview. It's Monday morning. Mr. Hewitt and I are here to talk to you about some upcoming changes that we want to put into place in terms of tardies and hoods and some other disciplinary type of things, and how we're going to make a few changes for the last 9 weeks of the school year. This is probably only going to affect 15% of you. Most of you are doing a really terrific job following the rules and doing what you need to be doing, and so most of this stuff is really not going to apply to you. But for about 15 to 20% of the school population, please pay attention very carefully, because some of these items are very important.
All right, the first change, really not much of a change, but as you know, the doors on the side open at 7:22 for everyone to come into school. You have the option to go to breakfast at that time, and those doors close at 7:40. After 7:40, you know you have to come into the front of the school and sign in. From this point forward till the end of the year and forever, more than likely, when you come in and you sign in at 7:40, you will be given a detention immediately that will be served that day. Unless, of course, you have a signed parent excuse or a signed doctor's excuse as to why you're tardy on that morning. The second change that we're going to talk about is tardies to class. You have 3 minutes to get from point A to point B. We've all seen the video. If not, we can run the video again. It's very easy to get from class to class, no matter where you are in the building, in 3 minutes. So no more 3 strikes and you're out. If you show up tardy to class, you'll get a detention that will be served that day. As always, if you don't show up for detention, you'll have in-school suspension. Now, if there's extenuating circumstances, you already have detention, you need to speak to one of the administrators, Mr. English or myself, to work that out, and we'll get it figured out. But if you don't tell us and let us know, you end up getting yourself in a little bit more trouble. So please don't do that. The next thing, hoodies in the hallway. This is another one of those things that Mr. English pointed out. The vast majority of you, this does not have any effect on whatsoever. But for those of you that are wearing hoodies and hats in the hallway, this is a safety concern. We can't tell who you are sometimes in the hallway, and it's not a good feeling for us. So I think we've done quite a few warnings throughout the year. At this point, moving forward, you'll be asked to take the hood down, and you'll be assigned a detention once again. That's all I got.
Another important thing with the hoods is the teacher's going to tell you that you have to take it down. If the teacher has to tell you to take your hood off, that's going to be a detention. If you go around the corner and you put your hood up and another teacher tells you to take it down, you can essentially get 2, 3, 4 detentions in the same day. So that's kind of silly. I think, the best plan of action for you is just leave it off during the school day. If you want to go outside, put it on when you're outside. Just leave the hoods off. The reason for that is it's a safety issue. If in the cameras, if we see from behind a bunch of folks with hoods on, we can't tell who's doing what, and that is a safety concern. Also, generally speaking, still in society, most people, stores, business owners, older folks that have been around a while, consider wearing hats and hoods inside a disrespectful thing. So it's setting you up pretty well for life as well. Okay, we're going to stick with profanity in the hallway. This is no change, but if we hear you swearing or with profanity in the hallway, that's going to be a detention that you will serve that day as well. We are prepared, after the staff has discussed this for a lengthy period of time, to give the students back a little bit. So we've decided as a staff that earbuds and phones in the hallway aren't a major concern. And so from this point forward, you will be allowed to use your earbuds and use your phones in the hallway as you please. As long as it doesn't put you in a position where you're going to be late to class, which is what we talked about earlier in this segment. So use your earbuds, use your phones the way you see fit. Please pay attention to the fact that, you may not be able to hear folks, so be aware of your surroundings, and, where the staff is willing to sort of let up on those two items.
I'm going to add one thing to that. Not quite as you see fit. Pictures and videos, still a big no-no. No pictures, no videos.
That's a good point. Don't take pictures and videos. That still doesn't change. That's still against the law. Finally, we're going to try to add some positive supports as well. So we know that, as we mentioned earlier, more than 80% of you are really doing a great job. You're to school on time. You're following the rules. You're awesome. So we're going to start to do some drawings and some things like that on RV8 TV to give you tickets to games and maybe tickets to the prom and other things, other paid things to reward the majority of you that are doing a great job. Yeah. So we're going to put some more positive things in place because we know that a lot of you deserve it, that are doing the right things.
I think it's something, wash Mr. Hewitt's car is a great prize.
That's a good one.
Buy Mr. Hewitt pizza and eat it with him, or watch him as he eats it. Would he be even better?
Yeah.
So, wow.
So things like that we're going to start putting into place. Anyway, that's the segment on discipline. Please take these new items seriously, because we don't want to see anyone sort of going down the wrong path and just racking up a bunch of disciplinary infractions. The easy thing to do is follow these new rules, get to school on time, which is what we've been saying all year long, get to class on time, keep the headwear off, and you should be in really good shape. You may even win some prizes for doing so. So have a great morning, have a great last 9 weeks, work hard. Be a great Raider, do well in the classroom, do well in the fields, and represent yourselves and your family the way we know that you can.
Have a great week, Riverview.
On this day in history in 1988, Mario Lemieux wins the Art Ross Trophy as the National Hockey League's top scorer on this day in 1988. Lemieux's 168 points bested Wayne Gretzky, who had dominated the league as the top scorer for an amazing 7 seasons. That year, Super Mario also won the Hart Memorial Trophy as the NHL's most valuable player, an award Gretzky had captured the previous 8 seasons in a row. Lemieux went on to win the scoring title again in 1989, 1992, 1993, 1996, and 1997. Those are your news and announcements for today, Riverview. I'm Shoop. Don't forget to stand for the pledge and have a great day.